today's video, we're going to look at UFC 300, break it down. Let's do a little UFC 300 review. I'm not even sure if I've done any of this before, but I've basically watched the whole card twice, once on the night, which was incredible to review it, but you know, being in the UK, it didn't finish until 7 AM, so yeah, I weren't going to do one straight there. So earlier today, I've managed to watch the whole card from start to finish again, write some notes down, what I thought, and yeah, let's do a little UFC 300 review of what happened in each round of each fight. I don't know how long this is going to be, so yeah, hopefully it's something you can enjoy, stick on, relax, whether you're interested in the UFC and you know what happened, or if you're just going to use this to, you know, relax to and help fall asleep and, you know, take some comfort from it. So, UFC 300, Pereira versus Hill. I think the first thing we need to note is 0 fighters pulled out of any of the fights. All 13 fights went ahead, and no one missed weight at all. I don't know if I can remember the last time something like that happened, that every fight that was booked took place. Of the 13 fights that went ahead, there was 8 finishes, 5 of them being KOs, and there's 3 submissions. The attendance was 20,067. They had a $16.5 million gate, which is the 3rd highest in UFC history, and I think it might even be the highest gate in history without Conor McGregor in the card. Fight of the night was Gaethje versus Holloway. Performance of the night went to Yuri Prochazka and Max Holloway. Dana also said that he was going to look after Figueiredo, Moicano, Diego, Gala. He didn't mention Pereira for some reason, but I'm pretty sure he looked after Pereira too. Okay, so let's go. Let's go all the way down to the first fight of the night. Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt. As you can see, for Figueiredo won. So the first round for me, Cody Garbrandt took the first round for me. I think he looked sharper, he looked faster. Cody's footwork was great in the first round, but I thought Figueiredo actually looked the bigger of the two, actually, which I was actually quite surprised, being as Figueiredo come up a weight class. Cody's takedown defense looked awesome early fight. Figueiredo did catch Cody with a kick, while Cody went for a cachoeira kick, and yeah, you know, that was pretty cool. But you know, Cody ate that really well. Cody looked like he might have even knocked Figueiredo down in the first round. But that could have been, a slight stumble. Cody's fast too was the difference in the first for me. He looked really, really sharp. In the last 10 seconds, Figueiredo nearly got Cody down, and then had this smirk, this smug smile on his face, almost as if he knew he was going to get Cody down, or things were about to turn, and that's kind of what it did. In the second round, Cody thought he caught Viggy, went for another 2 or 3 shots, which meant like he stayed in the pocket, slightly too long, and Figueiredo capitalized on that, and he managed to get a hold of Cody and take him down. And Figueiredo, to be fair to him, he controlled the legs and the wrist, which made him able to maintain control on top. As Cody tried to escape to his left, Vicky took the back and went from back mount to then mount. He stayed on mount for a while and tried to submit Cody and stand up. And as he went to stand up, Vicky managed to get the back again, but this time around the neck and with a triangle on his. He managed to lock the legs in. Vicky ultimately finished Cody via rear naked choke in the second round. After 4 minutes. It was a good fight. I thought Cody looked so good at the start. So damn good. I picked Cody to win via KO. He lost. So, wasn't the greatest start from me. I went 0-1 in the picks. Okay, we're already at 7 minutes or so I need to shape this up. Let's go up. Maybe I won't look at these stats, we'll just go up and up. Next fight, Bobby Green versus Jim Miller. Bobby Green won via unanimous decision. The first round, Bobby Green started trash talking literally from the first second of the fight, but the first big hit was hit by Miller, and he actually hit Bobby Green with another big shot about 10 seconds later. Jim Miller looked like the bigger, thicker guy, but Bobby did edge out on the speed and the footwork. I would say that throughout the round, Bobby might have been leading slightly. Maybe landed the more solid shots, or in terms of volume. However, with 25 seconds left in the first round, Jim Miller caught Bobby with a sweet left hook, which rocked Bobby. Although Bobby probably looked the better overall, Jim Miller hit him with 3, maybe 4 big shots over that round, which for me, I gave Jim Miller that first round on damage alone. Damage, big shots landed, but it was close. Bobby could have won, but watching it twice, I thought Jim Miller won the first round both times. Move on to the second round. Again, first 2 minutes of the round was very close again. Miller looking like he's throwing the more powerful shots, but Bobby with a more volume, speed, the ones and twos. After the 2 minute mark though, Jim Miller got caught massively. Got caught by a glancing straight left followed by a right, and it caused a cut on Jim Miller's eye. And to be fair, the right there, and Jim Miller started bleeding right away. And then you can see that gave Bobby so much more confidence. He looked like a different fighter. He started pouring on the pressure, throwing even more shots, and as Jim was bleeding more and more, Bobby just started landing cleaner and looked like heavier shots as well. Jim started leaking out of his nose too, so Bobby really started to pull away with a minute left of that second round. Bobby landed twice as many significant strikes. The last minute, Jim was trying to throw power shots, but Bobby was just popping the jab at Miller's right eye, and that actually started closing up really, really, really badly. That was a big round for Bobby, and the score is 1-1 in my eyes. Then we went to the third round, and as we got into the third round, Bobby Green started how he finished the second, landing the jabs, landing the ones and twos. As we got 3 minutes left, Bobby Green landed over 100 more strikes compared to Jim Miller. He was so accurate. Started to put a little bit more power into the shots. Starting to hurt Jim Miller now, but you gotta say, Jim Miller, for his age, how long he's been in here, he never give up. 2 minutes left. Bobby got caught, really, really caught, and Jim landed a straight left, and it looked like it wobbled Bobby for a bit. But Bobby did, you have to say, he did recover really well though. And in the last 90 seconds, it went back to how it was. You know, with the jabs, the ones and twos. And I have to say, Bobby's speed did not deteriorate whatsoever. He looked just as fast in the last minute as he did in the first. And in the last minute, Bobby did hurt Miller bad with a 1-2 straight down, which eventually knocked Miller down. Bobby pounces on it and kept throwing punches on bottom. Jim Miller managed to try to get up, but Bobby took him down straight away again and started landing big shots on the floor. There wasn't enough time for the finish, but you know, I think another minute and Jim Miller's out of there. I scored the fight 2-1 to Bobby, and you know, what a fight by both guys. The judges gave like multiple 10-8s, which I didn't agree with, but you know, maybe 1 or 2 10-8s, you know, I don't know. You know, like if the judges gave like the third round a 10-8, I'd get that because he knocked him down, but you know, the second round wasn't a 10-8 in my eyes. But I did agree that the overall winner was Bobby King Green. And look, I picked Jim Miller. I wanted the fairy tale story ending for him, but was wrong, you know, and if I didn't want that fairy tale ending, I probably would have picked Bobby Green, so, you know, I do have a tendency to pick with my heart over head sometimes. So, not a great start because I went 0-2 for the first fight and the second fight, 0-2 in picks. We move on. Okay, so there was, you know, the card was great, by the way. The card was excellent. There was 2 not great fights. This was one of them. Jessica Andrade and Marina Rodriguez. It was one of the more boring fights on the card, if I'm honest, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. So first round, Rodriguez looked pretty good early. She was utilising her kicks and her long straight punches, but you know, Andrade's got like a chin of a 185 for male, so you know, nothing really affected Andrade at all. And Rodriguez threw a kick with 2.5 minutes to go, and Andrade like caught it, you know, or blocked it, and Rodriguez slipped. Andrade then literally pounced on it and kept the fight on the floor, controlling Rodriguez, landing some shots here and there for the remainder of the round. First round went to Jessica Andrade for me, 1-0 Andrade. Second round, Jessica Andrade actually looked better on the feet this round. You know, the first round Marina Rodriguez was, you know, using and utilising her height advantage and her length, her reach. Jessica Andrade looked a little bit better on the feet this round. You know, either staying out of the range all the way or going right in, up short, landing her shots as a shorter woman. And with a minute left, Andrade caught Rodriguez, you know, and yeah, she caught it 1 or 2 more times, and the round was kind of over, and you know, Andrade just won, not even utilising any wrestling or anything. It was literally just being a better striker, which I didn't expect. You know, Rodriguez being a bigger fighter who likes tight clinches, done 0 work in the clinch. It makes no sense whatsoever. 2-0 Andrade on 2 rounds. Third round, pretty much more the same as the second round. Andrade is now pushing the pace and the octagon control. Rodriguez is on her bike and on her back foot the whole time with her chin in the air. You know, and that was the case with like the first 3 minutes of the third round. Rodriguez, though, did catch Andrade in like a guillotine with 2 minutes left, which looked kinda tight, but again, she has a neck of a man, so managed to power herself out of that submission attempt, you know. Rodriguez then got herself into a fight, you know, with about a minute to go, and in the third round, Rodriguez actually overtook Andrade in strikes landed. And literally with the last few seconds to go, Andrade actually kicked the lead leg of Rodriguez, which caused it to fall over. And Andrade just started to land shots on the floor against Rodriguez, which again, tight round, but Andrade just managed to win. Andrade managed to win 3-0 in my opinion, and I actually picked Andrade to win. So Andrade won, I was correct. Moved 1-2 in the picks. Okay, now we move on to the main event of the early prelims. Jalen Turner, Renato Moicano. Oh, what a fight for as long as it lasted. First round. Early in the first round, both these guys exchanging punches and kicks. Jalen Turner landed like 2 beautiful kicks to the liver back to back, which had Moicano backing up and, slightly keeled over, as Jalen was like rushing to capitalize through Renato Moicano. Moicano used his brain and initiated the grappling sequence, which eventually caused Jalen to be on the defense rather than going, offensively trying to capitalize on Moicano being hurt. Moicano couldn't get him down on the first attempt, but on the second attempt, Moicano fought to get the takedown, and he got himself, a takedown on Jalen Turner, and he landed himself in half guard on top. Moicano, trying to find a chink in Jalen Turner's armor. He just couldn't really set up any submissions. But with the fight now being on the ground, Moicano had the time to compose himself, recover, and, gained about 2 minutes of control time on the ground. And at this point, Moicano's now back in the fight and probably winning on control time. Jalen Turner did manage to get himself back up though, and there was about a minute of where literally neither guy done anything. They were both trying to figure each other out. Until Jalen Turner landed a massive straight left hand to sit Moicano down really badly. But Jalen Turner tried to do a walk-off KO. Moicano wasn't even out, so Moicano just stood literally straight back up. Jalen Turner was already turning away. But the ref hadn't even called it, so Moicano stood back up. It was about 20 seconds left, and Moicano just managed to stay afloat and recover. So Jalen Turner stole the round for sure, but there's a good chance that Jalen Turner might have been able to put Moicano out if he just kept on. Second round. The second round, both started off pretty slow, trying to find their range again, hitting some shots here and there. Jalen did try the deep kick a couple of times. I would say that Renato was the one that was putting on a little bit more pressure in terms of octagon control and pushing forward, walking forward. Renato is trying to engage in some grappling sequence, so he needs to try and cut the cage off and shoot in for a takedown. And that's exactly what happened. He engages a grappling sequence, got him a takedown, but this time Moicano found it so much easier than he did in the first round to get a takedown. There was almost zero resistance, and basically secured full mount pretty much straight away. Moicano was doing well. He started to land shots on top, but still making sure that he remained in control on top position. He then went into 3/4 mount to land some more strikes, but continuing to have control using that 3/4 mount position. He done really, really well. Jalen had no opportunity to get up safely. And with a minute left, Moicano managed to get the back. Moicano managed to get back to full mount and started landing. And he landed a right hand to Jalen's face, which caused a reaction from Jalen. As soon as Moicano saw that, he smelled blood. He was throwing multiple 1s and 2s for over 10 seconds to get a second round TKO finish over Jalen Turner. And as always, Moicano he cut a mean promo, as he has done in his previous 2 fights. I picked Moicano to win as an underdog, and I was correct. Well done, Moicano. And I moved 2-2 in the picks. We move on to Sadiq Youssef and Diego Lopez. Oh my god. I told you guys, Diego Lopez is one of my favourite fighters, and he literally proved once again why that was the case. He got a first round finish. Diego started the round with a big calf kick, and then again, and then again. The first round was like partially checked by Sadiq, but then he did, that didn't even deter him. He literally threw another 2. And pretty much engaged in striking straight away. He threw a left hook to the body, a right hook up top, immediately followed by a left up top, right uppercut, and then another left hook up top to sit Sadiq Youssef down. It was an incredible, really fast combination and a powerful one. He sat Sadiq down. He pounced on him and started throwing a bunch of ground pounds. But, to be fair to Sadiq, he did recover pretty well. He managed to get a hold of the leg, which caused Lopez to sprawl and defend a takedown instead of being on the offensive again. This enabled Sadiq Youssef to stand up, but only briefly, as Diego landed a lovely, absolute prime left hook to the body, right uppercut, and another left hook or right hook, I can't even remember. Oh no, it was a right hook to the body, right uppercut, and another right hook. And he sat Sadiq Youssef down again. But this time, Lopez landed in mount, and he literally threw a barrage of punches until the ref just stopped the fight. A beautiful, beautiful, beautiful first round KO by Diego Lopez once again. Called out Mosfar Evloev, and I don't mind that. Maybe I'll do another video in the future, later on this week, about who I'd pick for every guy and girl on this card to fight next. So stick around and maybe we'll do that next. I picked Diego Lopez to win, and I was correct. So I moved 3-2 in the picks. Next, we have a women's bantamweight bout between Holly Holm and Kayla Harrison, and kind of ended how I thought it was going to end, if I'm honest. For the first minute, the fight stayed on the feet. Kayla's trying to figure out how to close the distance on Holly, and the way she done it, she manages, to throw a right high kick that Holly, pretty much blocked. But as Holly was, worried about blocking the right high kick, the space was almost like gained, and that kind of almost like frightened her to cause Holly to grapple, which is not what she wanted her to do. So Holly engaged in the grappling. Kayla then used that to do a judo throw, hip tossed her over to the ground, but Holly, to be fair, did an excellent job to use the momentum of the judo throw to throw Kayla almost like back onto her back, and Holly landed on top. Used Kayla's momentum to almost throw her on her back, and Holly managed to land on top. But that only lasted, all of like 10 seconds. Kayla managed to get up with ease and then had Holly up against the fence. Kayla then managed to get Holly to the ground, where for the remainder of the round she threw a bunch of shots and attempted submissions, and that was literally the extent of the first round. The second round approaches. Kayla again had to try and find a way to close the distance, and who would know, she did it the exact same way. This time the head kick actually partially landed. She threw a right head kick, partially landed, and Kayla went straight for the double leg, which was a bit different on Holly. Holly managed to get up pretty quickly, but as she done so, Kayla Harrison had her in a guillotine. It didn't last long, but what happened was Kayla still had the position and the distance was closed. She had Holly Holm right up against the front, up against the fence, and over time managed to get Holly down again to the ground via another hip toss. I love seeing hip tosses in MMA. It's so good. And this time, Kayla pretty much managed to get the back straight away, hitting some big shots before getting the rear naked choke, and she submits Holly Holm in a UFC debut. I picked Kayla Harrison to win, and I was correct. Okay, so we're moving on now. We're 4-2 in the picks. Okay, Calvin Kattar and Aljamain Sterling. This is unfortunately the other boring fight. Aljo stepped up from weight, up weight into 145 from 135, and I have to say he looked like a true 145er. Start of the first round, Aljo went straight on the offense, pushing the pace, walking forward. This did slow considerably within a minute, and I would say that Kattar was actually the guy that was controlling the octagon, and Aljo was more like picking and choosing his shots and getting into distance, removing himself from distance there. Halfway through the first round, Aljo managed to get a takedown. Didn't really offer any real offense or submission attempts. Just multiple mat returns happened until Kattar was finally able to get back to his feet and separate. And again, nothing much happened on the feet until 10 seconds left of the round, and Aljo managed to shoot and successfully get another takedown. So, after the first round is 1-0 Aljamain in a pretty dominant but boring fashion. Second round, Aljamain started the fight throwing a few kicks to the legs and body. Again, almost doing similar to Kayla, trying to close the gap. And then once he closed the gap, he literally held Kattar against the fence for nearly 3 minutes straight. The crowd was booing. Kattar just couldn't do anything though. He really couldn't do anything for 3 minutes. He did manage to break 3, but nothing actually materialized from that either. They were in the middle of the octagon with 90 seconds left, and nothing happened until Aljo again used his speed and agility to secure another takedown in the center. Aljo pretty much controlled Kattar on the ground for the remainder of that round, and the crowd is really booing here now. It's massive, the booing, because Aljo is very convincingly but very boringly holding on to Kattar, but Kattar's not even doing anything to stop it. So yeah, quite a frustrating fight to watch because there wasn't much of a fight. Third round. Aljo started the third round as the other 2 rounds went pretty much closed in the space and holding Kattar, and he did not let up. He managed to get Kattar down, and that's pretty much where it stayed for about until 90 seconds of the fight remained. Kattar managed to get up to his feet, where Aljo literally leaned over the top of Kattar and then powerbombed him back down and rained offensive. That was literally to the extent of offensive that happened, but it still looked pretty cool. Aljo managed to keep the fight on the ground for the remainder of the fight, so for about 4 minutes of the 5 minutes, Aljo was pretty much holding on to Kattar and controlled him very dominantly. Kattar only managed to land 4 significant strikes in the whole fight. It's ridiculous. I picked Aljamain Sterling to win, and he did. That's exactly what he done, so I'm very happy for him. And he's now ranked number 2. Is that in the bantamweight, or is that yeah, I don't think that's actually been updated, so. But yeah, well done Aljamain Sterling. We move on. As we can see, performance of the night bonus for Jiri Prochazka. However, the first round, Rakic started very well, throwing multiple calf kicks to Jiri's lead leg. Rakic proceeded to land multiple jabs and stiff lefts to the face of Jiri, along with more left kicks to both of Jiri's legs now. This is happening over 2 minutes, Jiri's getting eaten up. Jiri's having a hard time with distance control and the speed of Rakic. for over half of the round this was the case. He would land a calf kick, then land on top, land a calf kick, land on top. However, towards the end of the round, though, Yuri started to, close the distance for Rakic. And as he was closing the distance, Rakic couldn't land as many calf kicks anymore. But, he was hitting Yuri some real big shots, some ones and twos, some hooks. Yuri is eating them like they're nothing, though. And with about 40 seconds left, Yuri closed the space and got Rakic on the fence and landed a huge right hook, which wobbled Rakic. Of all the shots that Rakic landed on Yuri didn't budge. The one big shot that Yuri landed on Alex, Rakic, he's wobbling all over the place. Yuri tried to land a flying knee but missed. Rakic then, fair play, composed himself and started to land big shots again as the round closed out. But again, Yuri dismissive of any shots that landed on him. It was like they were not hitting him. We could physically see and hear they were hitting him, but he had no reaction at all. And there was a real significant difference in how he reacts when getting hit and how Rakic reacted when he got caught. But nevertheless, it was 1-0 Rakic after the first round. Second round starts. Rakic again controlled the distance, started off with calf kicks again. Yuri's both legs, getting calf kicked now, and he's having bruising on the inside and outside of both of them. Rakic lands a huge right, and within the first minute of round 2, which it did buckle the knees of Yuri. However, nothing else. No facial expression changed, no backing up. It was literally it was as if the legs was like, oh, we're going to hit you, and that was it. With that though, Yuri throws a high leg kick which missed, followed by a 1-2, and the right hand caught Rakic on the side of the head and hurt him bad and had him backing up. Rakic then in a panic throws 2 wide bombs which Yuri was able to evade, and this was like 2 minutes into the fight. Both guys are throwing bombs, which that plays into Yuri's style more than Rakic. Rakic is way more of a technical fighter. Yuri is, a brawler. And with that being the case, Yuri is catching Rakic, and he catches Rakic again with another 1-2 and hurt him. Yuri's now hunting and chasing Rakic across the octagon, peppering him with shots as Rakic is trying to recover. As Rakic is still on shaky legs, Yuri forces him to the ground, almost like chucks him to the ground. And as he does that, Yuri goes on top of him and lands, and yes, I did count. He lands 24 strikes to the face when Rakic is on the ground. 24 strikes with no response. That forced Herbdine to stop the fight, and Yuri once again has a great finish and one of the greatest comebacks victories I've ever seen, because he was getting pieced up and beaten most of that first round and most of the second. But I picked Yuri to win, and I was correct. And now we're on a roll. So now I went 6-2 on my picks going into the main card. And we move up to the main card. Bo Nickel, Cody Brundage. Cody tried to start the round fast and move forward. Tried to land a flying knee, a spinning elbow. Bo was having none of it though. But Bo did try to take Cody down the first time, and Cody scrambled really, really well and got back to the feet. But Bo's pressure just kept Cody against the fence, and then eventually scoring a takedown. But Brundage again returns to his feet straight away. But this kind of happens for like 2 minutes. Bo getting Cody down, securing it for a bit. Bo Nickel did go for a rear naked choke, which wasn't successful. And that's literally how the remainder of the round went. Bo Nickel was on top, dominating position, but not managed to land anything significant or get any real submission threats or anything. Second round though, Bo went on the attack and tried to get Cody down, but Cody is strong. He threw Bo off him, but Bo Nickel again, he's like, if he smelled blood, he just wouldn't stop. He wouldn't let Cody Brundage go. In the next 15 seconds, Bo managed to get him down, and then became fully in control. 2 minutes into the round, Bo managed to get full mount. And then Cody tried to get out of that and give up his back. As soon as he gave up his back, Bo took advantage of this and managed to finish Cody Brundage via rear naked choke submission in the second round, moving himself up to now 6-0. And I picked Bo Nickel to win, and he did. It was 7-2 on the night at this point, so I'm doing really well on the picks. We move along to Charles Oliveira and Arman Tsarukyan. First round of the fight. Within the first few seconds, Charles lands a leg kick followed by another, which caused Arman to fall to the ground. Charles followed him and pounced on Arman's neck, and then as Arman tries to stand, Charles caught Arman in a tight guillotine, literally wrapped his legs around him. Arman had to go Arman had to fall back to the ground, and to be fair to Arman, he done really well to fight the legs of Charles, and he did manage to escape the submission. But Charles did land on top, and at the halfway mark of the fight, Arman managed to reverse position, and then he's now on top. He did land a couple of shots, but nothing that was really significant at all. Charles postured up and tried to kick Arman's chest or shoulder from bottom position to clear space as a lot of people do. But it slipped from his shoulder and went into the face of Arman, which the ref stopped it and called a doctor in. There was no need for that. Arman was fine, and he said he was fine. But no, the ref stopped it and called a doctor in to assess him for a head injury. All was fine though, and the ref had the fight start in exactly what he was supposed to, which I quite liked. Charles is on his back and Arman's on, in Charles's guard on top. But Charles managed to work himself back up to up from the ground, and both people, to be fair, landed a couple of strikes before the round ended. I gave the first round to Charles Oliveira. Second round, Charles started the round very well, landing a huge shot on Arman. Huge. But to be fair, again, Arman ate the shot really well. But you can see Arman was visibly trying to push the pace a bit more this round. Even threw and partially landed an axe kick. I've never seen one of them before thrown and landed. Arman was doing a way better job in controlling distance, and managed to get Charles up against the fence and then getting Charles down. And that is literally where pretty much both fighters remained for the remainder of the round. Arman, though, while on top, managed to posture, separate space, and land some real big shots on Charles. So much so that he cut Charles on his right eye, and he could then continue to punch and elbow, particularly on that side. And Charles started to get really, really bloody. His blonde hair turned red. Half his face was red. But again, Charles, being the savage he is, was setting up a triangle choke, and it looked like he just got it in. But the buzzer went in to save Arman Tsarukyan. Second round was a clear Arman Tsarukyan round for me. Third round, both guys started the round well again, taking their opportunity to throw multiple strikes. I say Charles was looking the better striking. He looked crisper, he looked like he was throwing the better. Charles also defended a takedown attempt from Arman in the middle of the cage. But Arman did manage to get Charles back down to the ground about halfway through the third round. But he couldn't really do anything offensively. He just had control time. He didn't do anything of significance. Charles managed to reverse the position with 45 seconds remaining and set himself up with a Tars choke. It did look like Arman went out as well, but he didn't. Arman managed to compose himself, and that's what he stayed until the final buzzer. I thought Charles won on the third round based on the striking and the submission attempts. Yes, Arman controlled him for more time, but he didn't do anything with that control time whatsoever, and Joe Rogan even pointed that out, saying that you can see a third round win for Charles for the submission attempt. So I did pick Charles to win, and I did think that Charles won, but Arman won via split decision. So that took me to 7-3 with my picks now. I didn't like that, but it wasn't like a controversial robbery. Either guy could have won. I thought Charles won, Arman won. It is what it is. Next, we have the fight of the night and the performance of the night. Crazy. Justin Gaethje and Max Holloway. Let's have a look at the full fight. So Max Holloway landed 181 strikes. Yeah, all of them significant strikes as well, and Gaethje. That's crazy. One knockdown for Max, none for Gaethje. Crazy. Max looked awesome, mind. I thought Max looked considerably better this time round at 155 pounds. Gaethje did miss a couple of big shots early in the round. Max was just really quick at 155. He was almost just as quick as he is at 145. Gaethje was, however, landing the low kicks early, and one of them even managed to knock Max to the ground, but Gaethje did nothing with that. Max got up straight away. I'd say that with the kicks, Gaethje was winning, but the cleaner punches and the cleaner shots Max was landing. Even if they didn't have the ferociousness of Gaethje, Max was landing more, and they were pretty significant too. And Max did actually hurt Gaethje. He hit him with a right uppercut and a left hook. Gaethje did recover really well though. Over the next 30 seconds, Max was trying to step out a little bit of the pace, leading the dance, moving really well, covering ground quite fast, entering and dipping and slipping. He was really good, really, really good. Max actually as well looked extremely focused every round, more so than I've ever seen before. He kept landing nice ones and twos, a couple of real nice shots, and Gaethje was finding some success too. It was a really good round. But Max, he started to check the leg kicks of Gaethje, and at the buzzer of the first round, Max landed a spinning back kick to either break the nose of Gaethje or make the broken nose significantly worse. I couldn't tell if it was broken just before or not. And you could see in between rounds that was bothering Gaethje. First round to Max. Second round, it went pretty similar to the first. Max started the second looking the fresher, the faster, the more aggressive. But Gaethje, he's still showing some real good shots, throwing some big shots, some partially land. Max, though, in this round is now starting to throw and land some varied kicks as well. So he was doing the spinning kick, but he also landed some leg kicks of his own, some body kicks that sounded quite nasty. And Max is still checking the leg kicks of Gaethje. 2 minutes through the second round, Max pokes the left eye of Gaethje bad, and it took about a minute to get that all cleared. The fight resumes, the guys start to land on each other again. Max gets the more aggressive. Gaethje's still landing too, but Max is looking great. And then what happens? Another eye poke. Max is thumb. It goes right into the right eye of Gaethje this time. You couldn't believe it. was a final warning given by the ref, but the fight did resume again. But as the fight resumed again, Max, showing his speed and his lucidness, his footwork was great. As the round closed, Gaethje did land a big leg kick to Max. But, Max landing the more up top. And the second round, Max is 2-0 up by here, I believe. But it has to be said that, Gaethje did suffer 2 white pokes, so Max could have probably had a point taken away. So it could have been a draw, but I had Max 2-0 up here. Third round. Again, the third round Max looked extremely fresh, as if it was the first round. Gaethje again going for the leg kicks, and even though there's marking on Max's leg, there's a big mark, a big welt on Max's leg. It just doesn't seem to be affecting Max. It's like he programmed his brain to not have any feeling in his calves. It's ridiculous. Max is definitely throwing more volume, being the aggressor. But again, same as the other two, Gaethje has his own moments, throws real heat. But Max seems to deal with the power of Gaethje better than Gaethje being able to handle Max. It's as if Gaethje throws with more power, and Max can handle it. Max throws with less power than Gaethje, but Gaethje can't handle that power. It's really strange. Just 2 minutes over into the round, Max hit Gaethje with a 1-2 down the pipe. Justin shelled up, and Max caught him again. But again, as it's such a back and forth fight, as Max is trying to go in for him, Gaethje catches him with a leg kick, which backs him up a bit. But Max is really starting to pull away in this round. He hit Gaethje multiple times throughout the round, landing, over double the significant strikes of Gaethje at this point. I'd say that Max was getting very big reactions from Justin Gaethje from feints, which shows, that Gaethje was feeling the punches that Max was throwing. And yeah, as the round closes, Max is on his way to a complete shutout. 3-0 Max. Fourth round. And I gotta say, this is the round where we praise Justin. Let's have a look at the fourth round. Yeah, okay. Both threw the same amount of strikes. So yeah, Max outstruck him double on the first round. Nearly double on the second. 12 more. 9 more on the third. Then the fourth round, it was the same. 35-35. So yeah, this is the round where we praise Justin. Despite being probably 3-0 down and Max cruising to victory, I'd say Justin was, the fourth round was Justin's best, and he could have even took the round. He immediately started offensively this time, putting the pressure to Max, landing push kick 2 or 3 times, and then found a nice 1-2. He then caught Max again with a 1-2, but Max took it well, as he always did. 90 seconds into the fourth round, Max then has his turn to catch Gaethje, and as before, Gaethje is reacting worse to the shots at this point, moving backwards, shelling up a little bit. But again, Justin, no quitting him, pushes forward, catches Max again with a jab, rocks the head back of Max, before missing a massive right hand, and Max then punishing him for missing. Max looking really fresh, as if it was the first round. And he looked really, really good until Gaethje maybe knocked Max down. It wasn't counted as an official knockdown, as we can see. But, regardless, Max recovered from it really, really well. And he moved great for the last 30 seconds of the round. Didn't take any more damage. So, yeah, I don't know who would take this. They had the same amount of total strikes, and you could say that Gaethje probably could have had the knockdown, so you could give it to Gaethje, in my opinion. But also, I could also see people still giving it to Max for, dominating him for the other times. And then we enter the fifth round. This is the difference. The fifth round is championship caliber. Who's got the heart? Who's got the grit? Who's got the determination? You know, Gaethje just had his best round, coming off his best round, into the 5th, and Max puts up over triple the total strikes as Gaethje. We enter the 5th round. Max is 4-0 or 3 up at once, at worst. Max lands early to the body in the 5th, and Justin gives a big reaction. Max landed another spinning back kick. Justin backs up. Again, Max is looking so sharp, so fresh, so fast. Lands his shots, get out of there. Lands his shots, get out of there. 2 minutes into the 5th round, Max lands an awesome combo. Multiple body shots to a straight hand to the head. Wobbles Justin. Max warms and hits him with a couple more shots. Boom, 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 boom. Gaethje falls to his knees momentarily. But Gaethje again gets up really quickly, but Max is still on him, pressuring him against the cage, landing numerous shots. Gaethje survives, as he's always done. You know, and Max is almost landed at will now, as we can see by the strikes. You know, whatever he's throwing is almost landing. Multiple 1-2s, multiple spinning back kicks. And as the round is closing on the final minute, Max is landing multiple combinations, staying on his toes. Again, I've said it before and I'll say it again, moving like it's still the first round. As the 10 seconds is starting to close in, Gaethje misses a rolling thunder. The 10-second klaxon goes off. Max points to the centre of the cage like a G and says to Gaethje, "I'll give you an opportunity, let's stand and bang." Gaethje, obviously a G himself, a BMF himself, obliges, and both of these guys, for the final 10 seconds, are standing in the middle of the cage, just throwing heat at each other. And they're giving it all they have, all their energy for the last few seconds, in which Max catches Gaethje to the body 3 times. It was left, left to the body, and the right hook over the top of Gaethje's hands, right on the temple, and Gaethje goes down. He puts Gaethje to sleep with a second remaining. It was barely a second left. Gaethje is snoozing on the floor. He lies on the floor for about 5 minutes, not even exaggerating. Maybe a slight exaggeration, but he's on the floor for a fucking long time. It is literally one of the craziest KOs I've ever seen. It's like 6 o'clock in my bedroom, and I'm going nuts. Absolutely crazy. And it's one of the best performances I've ever seen, one of the best KOs I've ever seen, and one of the craziest endings to a fight that I've ever seen. And what makes it better is I picked Max to win. I said that he was going to win, and he did it in incredible fashion. And I went 8-3 after this fight. My picks are starting to do good, and they carry on because I picked Zhang Weili to win, and that's exactly what Zhang Weili done on the night. It was a 5-round fight. Again, I'll go through the 5-round. It was a bit more. It was really hard. It was a very good fight, like an incredibly good fight. But after seeing that KO, it felt like the dopamine that just escaped my body. Like the energy was just gone. But we'll go through it. Full fight, total strikes 256-73. Wow, I didn't know it was that bad. That's mental. Okay, only 1 knockdown. I understand how that's the case. I thought it was way more than that. Okay, so first round then. As the first round started, the first thing I did was notice how big Yan was for the division. She was big. She also caught Weili early by a right hand, and then Weili returned a low kick to Yan. Weili did look strong though, in the clinch. Weili still had the strength despite not having the size, and it was a fairly back and forth round, through the first really for a while. Yan managed to do an inside trip to Weili and land a few punches. but this only seemed to like piss off Whaley. As she lands a couple of shots of her own while putting some pressure on her before hip tossing Jan and taking it down herself. Whilst on the ground though, Whaley managed to get the back and get under the neck. The klaxon went off as Jan's got a rear naked choke sunk in. You know, the end of the round happens, and Jan went out. She's unconscious, but as Whaley like left go and almost like moved Jan to like get up, it like woke Jan up and she stood up. So the ref's like, fight carries on, you know, and Jan goes to her corner, and credit to her, despite being choked out. At the start of the second round she looked like nothing happened, you know. She came out, she was full of energy. And that was until Whaley managed to get her down again. And, you know, that pretty much happened for the whole of the round. She was on the ground. Whaley at the back of Jan, flattened out again. This time though, she was raining down shots. Again, the commentators are like saying the fight should be stopped, the fight should be stopped. She's raining down punches, but again, Jan survived. She's a proper tough warrior. A tough warrior. She survived with a minute to go. Whaley then tried to move into an arm triangle, but again, Jan just has grit and determination, and she gets out of there and she reverses the position. She didn't last long on top though. Whaley managed to get back to the feet, and that was the second round over. But you know, that could be 2 10-8 rounds there for Zhang. She's 2-0 up in the rounds. Third round though, Jan looked awesome in the third round. She caught Whaley a few times before scoring a knockdown. She kept kicking Whaley numerous times over the span of like 20-30 seconds. The ref then eventually stepped in and stood Whaley up. But now Jan's looking like the fresher fighter despite like getting pasted the first 2 rounds. Arguably both 10-8 rounds. Jan caught Whaley again as she moves towards Jan, which resulted in Jan taking Whaley down again. That didn't last long. Whaley got up, but then Jan sat her down again. A really, really good round for Jan. And at the end of the round, it's 2-1 in rounds. Let's have a look what the... Okay, yeah, so strikes-wise, very much closer. Significant strikes, way more for Jan. She has a knockdown and 2 takedowns, so the round is Jan for sure. Again, 4th round though, she comes out. Jan started the round really bright, throwing ones and twos. Not sure how many of them landed though, because she said only 10 total strikes landed, but she's throwing ones and twos, making Whaley swing and miss. And, you know, Jan sat it down again. It says it doesn't count as a knockdown. I don't know how that doesn't count as a knockdown. She sat it down again on the 4th round. But Whaley done really well though, and about 2 minutes into getting a takedown, she had top control for a period of time, and that turned into a barrage of attacks for about a minute, and with a minute left, Whaley done really well maintaining top position and landing numerous damaging blows. So that's where the total 59 strikes come from. So yeah, numerous just peppering Jan on top, so the ref don't stand it up. But very good round for Whaley, considering how the start looked. And then we entered round 5. And as I said about the last fight, you know, about the 5th round, it was hard to follow Holloway's fight. As I said, a great fight, and this was a great fight in its own right. Very entertaining, full of action. Starting out the 5th round. Oh, but I gotta say, start of the 5th round, the ref did warn Jan. She grabbed the cage multiple times in the 4th round, you know, to try and gain position and gain an advantage. So he said, do it again, I'm taking a point. But Whaley began the round, landing a left head kick, followed by a takedown. Jan did get up fairly quickly though. It says 16-72. I gotta say, on the feet, it's a competitive fight, and if anything, I'd say Yan is slightly better on the feet. She looks like she throws the harder, more cleaner punches. But I would say Weili is a more of a complete fighter, and she proves this again. She takes Yan down again in the 5th, and has stayed on the ground for the remainder of the fight, and Weili controlled the whole time on the ground. And that's where the strikes just add up. She only had 4 significant strikes in the 5th round, so a lot of them was literally just pity patter, scoring points on the floor, controlling Yan. An impressive performance once again by Weili. And look, I picked Weili to win, and I was correct. And I moved to 9-3 on the night, with one more fight to go. And that fight was the main event. Oh, the main event of Alex Pereira and Jamal Hill. Okay, so we got 24 total strikes to 12, all of them significant strikes as well. As the round started, I gotta say, Jamal, considering the amount of time he's been off and all that, he looked comfortable. He really did look comfortable. Both of them landing leg kicks on each other, multiple leg kicks. I'd say Jamal was looking for the head of Pereira, and Pereira was looking for the body primarily at the start. And again, Jamal Hill is a big light heavyweight, and he didn't, if anything, Alex Pereira looked bigger than him. So it's hard to fathom how he even made 185 pounds multiple times. But, he did, and you can see that it was diminishing him. He's way bigger than 185 pounds. He's like 230, 235. And look, as the round passes halfway, both guys are trying to feel each other out. It's fairly tentative. You can almost feel the tension in the air. Jamal still looking for shots to the head. Pereira looking, more focused on leg kicks and body work. And with 2 minutes remaining of the first round, Jamal catches Pereira in between the legs with a low kick. Herb Dean goes to step in and stop the fight. Pereira, without even looking at Herb Dean, put his hand up and was like, no, let me handle this with his right hand. And he proceeded to walk Jamal down towards the cage and landed like a left hook, left uppercut like hybrid, and sits Jamal down badly, eyes rolling the back of his head. Pereira stands above him and starts raining down shots until Jamal becomes unconscious. Herb Dean waves the fight off. Then Pereira stands next to him and starts emoting on him. Honestly, as if it's a meme. You can't believe what's just happened. Almost, if Max Holloway's finish didn't happen, everyone would be going insane about this. But Max Holloway's, deservedly took all the limelight. But Pereira is literally above an unconscious Jamal Hill, memeing on him. Unbelievable. And again, similarly to Max Holloway's finish, it is one to remember and one to go down in history books. And I picked Alex Pereira to win. I knew he was going to win. I just sensed it. I thought Jamal Hill was coming back quite early, mind. Had Jamal Hill waited another 6 to 9 months, I don't know if I would have picked Alex Pereira, because I think Jamal Hill is a complete fighter, as much as he's not a nice person in my opinion. But Alex Pereira done awesome, really good, and has ridiculous freak power. And he is must-see TV. He's one of the biggest stars in the UFC, and I can't believe it. I can't wait to see him again. I finished the night 10-3, which I'm very pleased about. That is a good night of picks. It's like 76%, win rate. So that's really, really good. And I just have to say, on this fight, and it's like an hour now, so I'm not going to go any much longer, but this fight, this card, the production was incredible. There was loads of touches and highlights of the past, showing memories, moments. The old introduction is so good. showing like the Conor McGregor speech, the old logos, black and white previews, just real slight touches to like note the past and like almost like to pay homage to the past. It was really good. Like I said, the production was incredible. The stars were out. Mark Coleman even put the belt around Max Holloway's waist. That was a lovely touch too. It was an awesome night of fighting, an awesome card, and a success for the UFC, its fighters, and its fans. And that's it. Look, I don't expect anyone to still be here. I'm over an hour deep now into this film. So, yeah. With that being said, guys, until the next video, I'm wishing you all a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, but most importantly, I'm wishing you all